Well, hello, everybody. This is Mike Harrigan, and welcome again to another edition of Brain Buzz with Mike. As usual, I'm really excited to be with you here on this Tuesday afternoon, and I just have to tell you, I really love what I do. In addition to other things, I really get to read and research all kinds of information about the brain and discover ways to enhance the brain and brain health. And it really, really is so exciting, especially with an industry that's evolving so quickly. And I get to find ways and try to find ways to help people take these best practices that we learn and discover and incorporate them into their own daily lives. It really is fun. And the thing is, you actually will find some of these things in the strangest of places, things that you wouldn't really understand or realize. Ways to enhance your brain function, which kind of brings us to our topic of the day. And that is the connection between oral health and dementia or Alzheimer's disease. It really is a very important topic because it impacts all of us. All right, you get that little one, right? Impacts oral health. Anyway, it really does. It impacts everybody. And so actually in my research, I was going back and reading some of the old articles and research that I had, and I stumbled across an article by Dr. Daniel Amen. And if you're not familiar with Dr. Amen, he is really the godfather of brain health, one of the foremost experts in the field of brain health and plasticity in the country. And I stumbled across an article that he wrote back in 2012 where he discussed the connection between oral health and dementia and the importance of good oral hygiene. And as it turns out, he really was onto something back then. In fact, since 2012, many studies have come out and shown that there's not just a correlation between poor dental health and dementia, but there actually appears to be a causal relationship, all right? And in other words, it appears that poor dental hygiene, poor dental health is correlated with and maybe possibly even causal of dementia and Alzheimer's. So let's dig in a little bit. So based on numerous studies, an expert in the field has recently published an article which explains this causal relationship in pretty good detail. The author is Laurie Schmitz-Parr, and the title of our article is Alzheimer's Link, Oral Health Infections Lead to Systematic Link Associated with Memory Loss. Okay, so she's not really a marketing expert, but she is a brilliant mind and an expert in this field. The article, by the way, is very, very good. It's very detailed and technical at points, but I highly recommend to read it. And I'm just going to kind of summarize it for you here today. So she begins by saying this, and bear with me, as I said, it's a little technical, but I'm going to read this to you and then I'm going to kind of explain it. So she says, in the oral cavity, a plethora of bacteria are found in the sticky plaque biofilm that covers the many surfaces in the mouth. Additionally, deep periodontal pockets can form and collect plaque and harbor a number of pathogenic bacteria. Many oral bacteria associated with periodontal disease are also implicated in Alzheimer's disease, including 6 oral spirochetes, which have been found in Alzheimer's brains. The notable characteristics about these spirochetes in relationship to their link to Alzheimer's disease include being neurotropic in nature, meaning they specifically target and destroy nerve tissues, induce and contribute to inflammation, and form amyloid plaques and neurofiber entanglements, which are the hallmark indicators of Alzheimer's disease. So what is she saying here? Well, I know it's a mouthful, right? Get it? Mouthful? So what she's saying is that your mouth is full of bacteria, right? And many of these bacteria are really quite bad. They can cause inflammation, they destroy nerve cells, they can even form amyloid plaques, right? And many of these bad bacteria have also been found in the brains of Alzheimer's victims. So what they're saying is they found these specific oral bacteria in the mouths of folks who have oral problems, But they also found those same bacteria in the brains of Alzheimer's victims. So she goes on to say the following, and again, bear with me, it gets a little technical, that in a large study of subjects over the age of 60, higher levels of antibodies to periodontal pathogens were found in subjects who were cognitively intact at baseline, but then developed Alzheimer's disease, more than those who did not develop the Alzheimer's disease. So in addition to demonstrating a strong correlation between periodontal disease and Alzheimer's disease, it is indicative that periodontal disease was present prior to the onset of Alzheimer's disease. Okay, so what does that all mean? Well, it means that people who had this bad bacteria in their mouths were more likely to develop Alzheimer's disease. All right, it means that it's just not correlation, but it is likely cause and effect. What it means, in fact, that it's very likely that poor oral health can contribute to or even cause dementia or Alzheimer's disease. So that's pretty powerful stuff right there. All right, so finally, she goes on to say this. Today's elderly population places greater importance on oral and overall health than previous generations. That's good, right? Well, however, with age comes health issues. Many have arthritis, poor dexterity, poor vision, and limited mobility, which make brushing, flossing, rinsing, and using oral hygiene aids very difficult. These issues collectively contribute to chronic oral infections, increased periodontal pocket depth, bone loss, and subsequent tooth loss. And with a compromised dental health, the ability to chew and consume a proper diet may lead to nutritional deficiencies, which add another level of demential risk factors. So what is that saying? Well, it's quite simple. Our brains, what we say all the time, our brains and our bodies are one big system. If one part of the system gets compromised, the entire system is at jeopardy, right? As we get older, in addition to that, as we get older, we tend to slow down. As we slow down, our minds and our bodies tend to slow down. That can lead to diminished dexterity, vision, and mobility. And all of that can lead to compromised oral health. And as we just explained, poor oral health can lead to dementia and even Alzheimer's disease. So it's all connected. One thing leads to another. You have to take care of every part of your body because they're all connected in the brain. Everything is wired. Everything wired in the brain sends down through peripheral nervous systems, sends down to the different regions of our body, and they're constantly communicating back and forth. So if you have an issue with one part of your body, it can absolutely cascade and influence other parts of your health, well-being, mindset, physical and cognitive performance. And so you really need to take care of it. And what this article is really specifically saying is that dental health, it's been shown that dental health is really a direct correlation between that and the likelihood of dementia or Alzheimer's disease. Now, I know that bites, but it is what it is, right? We can't change the facts. All we can do is change our own behavior. So in my closing remarks, I just want to say this, all right? As we always say, humans, ourselves, we are not immune to Newton's first law of motion. An object in motion will continue in motion. An object at rest is likely to stay at rest. In our case, the object is us. So don't stay at rest for too long. Practice good dental hygiene to minimize that risk of dementia associated with that. Stay physically and cognitively active so you're more likely to be able to practice good oral habits. But really stay mobile. Do dexterity exercises. Do your stretches every day. Get your heart rate up. Practice cardiovascular health. Eat right. Get a good amount of sleep. Push yourself. Find your limits. Test your limits every day. And really, really importantly, engage in a comprehensive brain-body training as much as you possibly can. That means when you're doing something physical, challenge your brain at the same time. When you're doing something cognitive, stand up and try to balance. Try to do something physically at the same time. It really is helpful. All right? We are really, from head to toe, we're just one big interconnected system. Don't neglect any part of that system. It's all important. All right? So I hope that helps you understand that proper oral hygiene practices aren't just good for your smile, but they're actually good for your brain. Anything good for your brain is good for your body. It's all connected, right? So taking care of yourself, both brain and body, can help you in ways you really can't even imagine, all right? So anyway, thank you for your time. Awesome spending a little time with you every week. And as always, if you have any questions, you can email me anytime at brainingcenter@headstrong1.com. That's brainingcenter@headstrong1.com. And on one last note, I just want to let people know that I will actually be presenting a power braining presentation at the Bright Minds lecture this Saturday, April 14th. I'll be presenting at the end of it, but the lecture itself runs from 10 a.m. until noon at the Amen Clinics in Reston, Virginia. The Amen, A-M-E-N, Clinic in Reston, Virginia. Again, it's the Bright Minds lecture, and I'll be there this Saturday morning. If you would like to attend for free, you can do so, but you need to let them know, and probably soon. It's filling up quickly, I know that. So you can let them know by emailing Stephanie Mangiante at smangiante@amenclinic.com. That's SMANGIANTE @amenclinic.com. All right. So until next Tuesday, brain on. Thank you for joining.